Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Hi, Bullhorn Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
Once the new evidence came to light, Sheriff Gaylor was adamant that we needed to inform our community as soon as possible.
These were just a few words that the chief of police said at a press conference related to Rachel Morin, which went missing August 5th. However, she was found a day later, bludgeoned to death. Rachel Morin, mother of 5, often found comfort in being outdoors and working out. This was no different August 5th, around 6 p.m. when she went to the Maupassant Heritage Trail in Bel Air, Maryland. Nobody really knows what happened on that trail, but whatever it is, it was really horrible. A teenage girl found her body the next day during search efforts. The horrific scene only can be what is left to imagination.
Her death has grabbed local, state, national, and international headlines.
DNA was located at the scene of the crime.
DNA evidence is part of nearly every modern-day investigation, and in Rachel's case, DNA evidence was collected by our Forensic Services Unit. This DNA evidence has come back as a match, tied to a home invasion and an assault of a young girl in Los Angeles this past March.
This is the first time that we heard of an assailant associated with her case.
Unfortunately, that suspect has not been positively identified, but he did leave behind his DNA. In the video we obtained from the Los Angeles Police Department to be the person that murdered Rachel Morin on August 5th.
Rachel, mother of 5, died a brutal death. Can you help?
And the tip line number is 410-836-7788.
I'm Jennifer Santinello, and this is Layla. She's my firstborn child. She's the child that made me a mother. If my girl is out there somewhere, I would like for these stories to reach her. She seems to have vanished and we have been investigating her disappearance for almost 3 months now. We need more eyes on her story. We need to shine a light and get her story out of just this small town that it's in. I am here to implore you to share and talk about our girl. If my girl is no longer with us, I would like for those who know what happened to her to feel the pressure.
What inspired you to this particular case?
I'm always interested in stuff like this. Obviously, talking to you about the Summerwell stuff like that, I'm always trying to be on the right side and help people that are hurting. But her being local, and like I told her, my son's 25 and Layla ain't too much younger, so
Yeah,
it could
so
be anybody from Kingsport. It's the
it
way I
could.
look at it, you know.
Yeah,
And more people should be here helping her, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
Many of us came from all over the country to help Jennifer Santinello look for her daughter. Can you help? If you know something, say something. The legacy of the Murdaughs stretch very far in South Carolina. Behind these gates lie deadly secrets. Secrets only Alec Murdaugh himself know. On June 7th, 2021, Alec Murdaugh hatched a deadly secret, plotting against his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul. But what brought us to this point starts with Mallory Beach. Mallory Beach was killed in a boating accident by Paul Murdaugh, Alec Murdaugh's son, and it was going to trial, and Alec was about to pony up financial records. Those financial records were going to uncover a financial scheme hatched by none other than Alec Murdaugh himself. Right before going to court over the boating accident, Alec Murdaugh's wife, Maggie, and son, Paul, were brutally executed at the dog kennels at their home in Low Country, South Carolina, the property known as Moselle. Shortly after the murder of his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul, he had a foiled suicide plot at a local church nearby. Alec had a friend try to shoot him in the head region, which again failed, and he went to the hospital where it was a superficial wound, leaving everybody to believe this was a foiled suicide attempt to garner sympathy from the community. This foiled attempt was captured on camera at the local church. Alec Murdaugh received 2 life sentences for the death and murder of his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul. After Alec's double homicide conviction of his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul, he has since set his eyes on the clerk of Colton County, Becky Hill. Becky Hill is now come under fire for putting her hands on the scales of justice in an effort to get Alec Murdaugh convicted. Alec Murdaugh's defense team state that Becky Hill put her hands on the scales of justice in an effort to get money for a book deal. Alec Murdaugh has a hearing for a motion for new trial coming up on January 29th. This hearing details how Alec Murdaugh believes Becky Hill, the clerk of Colton County, put her hands on the scales of justice in an effort to get a guilty verdict from the jury. The judge in the matter stated that she will be willing to hear from the jurors and Becky Hill only at the most recent status conference hearing. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories channel as we prepare to go to this hearing to find out whether Alec Murdaugh does indeed get a new trial.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
YouTube and X. It is nice to see you this cold morning. when Bullhorn Betty's saying it's cold, then it's cold everywhere because I am in Florida. Florida does not snow. We occasionally we get like hailstorms and stuff like that, but for the most part, right? We're usually the warmest state in this country. And when it's cold in Florida, it's got to be freezing everywhere else. Good morning, Luteens. It's nice to see you. Speculation Station. Our beautiful Linda Lou is up in the house. Bullhorn Betty is present, followed by Southern Grammy. It's nice to see you. Gigi for Life is up in the house, followed by the real Me Too. It's me, Jen. Good morning, Love Bug. I hope you're having a great day. Who else do we have? We had a lot of people just chit-chatting away, and we've got, I already said hi to Southern Grammy. Bayou Babe is up in the house. Kayla, good morning. It's nice to see you as well. We have, I think I just said Bayou Babe. JB's mama is in the house. Angie, good morning. Lulu's Nana, good morning. Angela, Drew, it's nice to see you. Cool Gamer, hello, my love. I hope you're doing well. Who else do we have? We have a dealer up in the house. It ain't for the substances. It ain't for the drugs. It's for the hugs. It's nice to see you. I don't know. There's something about a hugs dealer that just kind of, it's like, I like that kind of dealer. I don't know about you, but I think I can handle it. We can have that kind of dealer all up in the Bullhorn Betty channel, right? Patricia, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Good morning. I am Team Summer. Good morning, love. Who else do we have? We have Susan up in the house. Bubble Bath is here. Vermont girl. It is nice to see you all this beautiful morning. Yes, we started a little early today. I've got a lot of paperwork I'm still working on and getting through. So I figured we'd go ahead and start a little early. I've been up since like 2 a.m. So you guys are going to end up seeing me yawning on you. We didn't get started. I have been working on that video. Those 3-minute little clips take me hours, right? Because back in the day, we just I talked, I threw a video in there, I talked, and that was it, right? Well, now we're 3 years into this thing. Our audience expects a little more from us. We can't just throw crap together. We got to make it look nice, right? We got to make it look nice. For all of you that don't understand what we're here for, we're here because we're going to be discussing the motion for new trial related to Alec Murdaugh. The reason why we're going to be campaigning about Alec Murdaugh and bringing attention to his case, because we, the channel, Bullhorn Betty channel, Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories, is going to be out there at this particular motion for new trial hearing that's going to be taking place by Judge Toll. We will be there. We're going to be going live. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the inside of the courtroom just yet, because I want to be inside the courtroom, but I also realize we're going to have some restrictions and it's going to be easier to run the channel, the hearing from whatever pool video is there. So what I'm thinking we'll do, I'm not even quite sure yet. I got to put it all together. We'll get out there. We'll go live from outside the court. We're going to try to see if we can get, some interviews with the attorneys, including Eric Bland. We're going to see what we can do. We're going to see what we can do. The attorneys, even Dick and Jim, have always been gracious about giving interviews. I don't like their client. Okay. I don't like their client. But I think that they're amazing attorneys, even though I don't like them arguing with the witnesses. I don't, they made us frown, especially how he was treating like law enforcement. We're back the blue, but that's their job and they do it well. So it's not like I hate the attorney or the attorneys. I actually highly respect them because they've had this crazy case, and they had to, build a legit defense with nothing. And they were able to do that successfully. They actually were able to put on a damn good defense for Alec Murdaugh. It all fell apart because Alec Murdaugh is guilty as hell. You can't get past that. But they did a great job. And so I don't want to dog on the attorneys too much. I don't like attorneys that much, even though I've worked for them. I'm entrenched in law, been entrenched in law for many years, even though I haven't been working for a lawyer in a significant amount of years. It's still education that I'll never forget, right? Either way, we're going to take, before we get on to what's all in this motion for new trial, we kind of have an idea, but I want to bring you guys up to speed. So we're going to have, I got probably about 20 or 30 minutes of videos for you guys to kind of bring us all up to speed. This is more for the new people that are coming into this case that don't understand the Alec Murdaugh case, never heard of it before, or may heard a little bit here and a little bit there, but just don't really, just haven't studied this case. This is a case that intrigues me personally. I will tell you, this has a lot of twists and turns. This is a historic matter. I've been to Alec's hearing for his trial whenever he was right before he was convicted for killing his wife and son. I went to the auction house. Like, I have been literally everywhere. I've been out to his property. I have been on his property. I stood right where Paul Murdaugh was killed. These are things that nobody's going to be able to take away from this channel. That content that you saw outside of the court proceedings, all that content was shoot by yours truly, Bullhorn Betty, right? All of that, even behind the gates. That was my authentic footage. Nobody else possesses. You guys got to see a little piece of history. I was kind of hopeful that we would have a perp walk of Alec Murdaugh. I'm still hopeful that they'll do the perp walk of Alec Murdaugh. Alec Murdaugh deserves the perp walk on every single hearing he has, period. In my opinion, this man is convicted double homicide of his wife and his son. Now, we know of, families where husband and wife don't get along, lots of violence in the home. Husband kills wife. We don't get it, but we get it, right? We don't get it, but we get it. We know that there are spousal issues that cause this stuff. We deal with it on a daily basis, but it's his son that just shook us to our core. How can you raise that boy? Show that boy how to ride a bike. Show that boy how to play t-ball. Be his coach. Watch him with every accolade to every failure. You watch your child grow. You watch your child walk. You watch your child take their first steps. You watch your child say their first words. You watch your child go to their first day of school. And you have what it takes to take a gun and pull a trigger while it's pointed at your child's head. I don't understand that kind of monster. I will never understand that kind of monster, but that kind of monster, that monster right there deserves a perp walk to each and every one of his hearings. I don't believe that's the case because we did learn that there is a parking garage. They were talking about the jurors coming in and everything like that. So I kind of like, no, right? If there's a parking garage, they will make sure he's a secured man and go through the parking garage. So the opportunity to actually capture him like we did at Colton County probably is not going to happen. Okay. But let's get back. This is about a 9-minute video. I don't know if I'm going to play the whole entire video for you. I may, but let's just jump right on into this. I don't really have a whole lot of other stories. I mean, I do, but we're kind of crunched on time. So we're just going to keep this entire live about the Alec Murdaugh case, the Alec Murdaugh saga, and what's going on with this motion for new trial. And at the end of this, at the end of the day, I think we're going to have a good understanding on how this is going to work and what the strengths and the weaknesses of this motion for new trial case is going to hinge on. We've got all those answers. So if you're interested in that, please stay tuned. MJ, L. Fig, good morning. Good morning.
The State versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, defendant. Indictment for murder, guilty, verdict.
That is the Clerk of Court in Colton County, Rebecca Hill, better known as Miss Becky. Alec Murdaugh and his defense team have accused the clerk, Miss Becky Hill, of the unthinkable, tampering with the jury. The defense team say she did this for a book deal, money, and fame. However, the ghostwriter to her book has a different opinion of the situation.
This whole thing.
Here's what he has to say.
The only thing I can tell you is her integrity, which is she's one of the most genuine people I have ever met.
We now know from Twitter post by Eric Bland, an attorney that took care of the Satterfield boys, as well as Stephen Smith's mother, is now representing the jurors that made these claims, and stated to Mr. Harpootlian, you told them to get an attorney, and they got me.
The State versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, defendant. Indictment for murder, SC Code 16-3-0010, CDR Code 0116. Guilty, verdict.
We never
Let me listen to this.
the likelihood, as reported to us by the jurors, that the clerk of court would go in to the sanctity of the jury room before he testified and tell the jurors, don't be fooled by his testimony.
The only thing I can tell you is her integrity, which is she's one of the most genuine people I have ever met. She's a rule follower.
The information we got, I can tell you, was independent of each juror. The first juror we talked to, we got information about Ms. Hill saying, don't be fooled. And then the second juror, independent of the first juror, says the same thing, and the third juror, independent of the other two, say the same thing. And so we're very confident.
Hill, according to Murdaugh's motion for a new trial, made up a story about a Facebook post that claimed a juror dubbed Egg Lady had talked with her ex-husband about the case.
So if you guys want to see the rest of that, you can. That's an 8-minute video, and I've got a much better condensed version of this. So we're going to move on over to that one. But yeah, Becky Hill's in some jammed up position right now. Alec Murdaugh's defense team is claiming that the clerk of court, Rebecca Hill, tampered with the jury by advising them not to believe Alec's testimony and other evidence, that Ms. Hill pressured them to reach a quick verdict and misrepresented critical and material information to the trial judge in an alleged effort to toss a jury she felt would favor the defense. The defense believes Ms. Hill betrayed her oath of office for a book deal, money, and fame. In the motion, the defense argues Ms. Hill advised the jurors not to be misled by the evidence presented by the defense or fooled by Alex or his testimony. According to the defense, Ms. Hill had frequent private conversations with the jury foreperson. Most alarming, defense is alleging the clerk of courts actually asked jurors for their opinion during the trial. In fact, they are claiming Ms. Hill actually faked the entire Facebook post hoax to toss a juror and failed to allow the jury smoke breaks during deliberation, which forced the jurors to come back with a quick not guilty verdict. So what are your thoughts on all of this information? There was a 65-page motion for new trial authored by Alec Murdaugh's defense team. Now, this is a lot of information to digest. And I have to be honest, some of the information in the affidavits are questionable. How is this going to play out?
I'm interested in your thoughts. And please consider visiting me on my YouTube channel, where we have in-depth discussions of these very cases. God bless each and every one of you.
The allegations in the petition filed today speak for themselves. We request that SWED stand down, since they are heavily invested in maintaining Alex's convictions.
Bullhorn Betty here. I just got done running a live on my Bullhorn Betty YouTube channel just a few minutes ago. We just got done doing a live on Alex Murdaugh. If you guys recall, Alex Murdaugh is serving 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole in connection with the murder of his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul. Paul, what do you think about these new allegations against the clerk of court? Do you think that this is possible all over a book deal? Check this video out. This is the press conference Alec Murdaugh's defense counsel put on. And we're not going to be watching that. We're going to go behind the scenes so you guys can actually see what happened in the Alec Murdaugh, where this all took place, and give you guys a full circle. Lastly, we have one more video I'm going to skip, and it's about the unaliving with Cousin Eddie, so we can get on to the newest information.
Low County, South Carolina.
Low country.
Right behind me is Alec Murdaugh's home here in the country. Right
Good
there.
morning, guidance.
Right behind me. This is where he murdered his wife and his son, allegedly. He is currently facing charges, multiple charges of fraud.
Here we go.
I happened to talk to one of the nurses that took care of the mother.
Mm-hmm.
She was on duty Sunday night, 24 hours before the murder. And Alec and Maggie were there in Alameda. You know, when I say Alameda, you know what that means?
No.
Alameda is where the parents live.
Oh, okay.
It's south of Varnville.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with this
That's
area
where
at
he
all.
drove and spent 15, 20 minutes and then drove back.
Gotcha.
And the nurse said, Alec and Maggie were there. She wasn't afraid to be with him.
Mm-hmm.
And they even, don't tell anybody, they, Randolph, who died 3 days later, wanted Krispy Kreme donuts. You know what those are?
Yes.
Well, there's none in Varnville on a Sunday night. So Alec and Maggie drove all the way to Charleston and back. Now, she was afraid to be with him. She wouldn't have spent 5 hours in a car driving through the back. I'm going to be dangerous.
Okay. I'll follow you. What's the worst that can happen? We get a ticket?
Nothing. Like I said, I know the sheriff. I've known him for 30 years.
Nice.
Here we go, guys.
I want to kill me if I was doing this.
Don't worry. I never asked your name. And I'm keeping your face out of it. I
Anyway,
just
all the rumors
appreciate
about
it.
her being afraid to be with Alex.
There it is.
Yeah.
Wow. Stop right there. I'm going to get all this.
Okay.
You don't mind.
No.
And it was raining out there that day.
Where were they actually found?
Well, these are the
Careful.
kennels.
Uh-huh.
See that little white door?
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, well, thank you, Hugs.
Okay, I'll let you take your photo and then I'll go walk. Did they used to have a lot of animals?
Yeah, hunting dogs.
Wow. What game do they hunt around here? Deer?
Oh, yeah, there's deer, but mainly.
Oh, butthurt Kelly. Aw. You know what? Worry about your friends following the law before you worry about me, because they commit felonies. Mine's a ticketable offense. And obviously I had a chauffeur and a person that that knows the sheriff. So you can be butthurt. You know what you could do, though? You could quit being unhinged and just quit following me. Just saying. Just saying. But that's okay. That's okay. We get the content. You don't like it, you don't have to come here. I can guarantee you're not getting this stuff from your hate channels. Now are you, Kelly?
Dogs really don't.
Oh, gotcha. No.
It's all been replaced anyway.
Yeah, but I'm not going to touch anything, but I don't mind recording. So that's it. Right there. That's where they found him.
There's Paul's. That's where Paul was killed, right there. And it wasn't until the actual trial that I actually realized where Maggie was actually, where, you know, Maggie got killed. You know, it's just, it's sad.
It's sad. Don't even worry about it, Sonia. It ain't going to happen. We've been here 3 years. The day that she grows up is the day that pigs fly. I can promise you that.
Paul.
Hmm?
Where they found Paul.
Where did they find the wife?
30 yards away, 100 feet away.
So
wow,
she was
so Paul
actually
was in there,
behind me in
not
this
her.
this area. Hold on, this area here. She was actually, and I thought she was out here, but she's not. When I turned the camera, she wasn't that far out. She was right about here. And I believe that was Paul's truck, honestly. That's what I heard, but I don't know that for a fact. I don't know that.
No. I appreciate it. Let me just put the camera down to the ground. There we go.
I made sure I kept his privacy, utmost. It was like a very important thing. He was an older gentleman. He was retired, and he was more worried about his wife knowing that that he was out there. But he's like, look, he's like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. He's like, we're doing it now, or we're never going to be able to do it. And I'm like, I'm following you, right? He was going whether I was going behind him or not. I just happened to follow him in. So again, we got Cousin Eddie, but that's not really the main topic of conversation. It's about this court hearing that we're coming up. Do we believe that Alec Murdaugh is going to get a new trial from this heinous crime that he did, right? That's what this whole video is about his heinous crime that he perpetrated upon his wife and his son. And he was found guilty of all charges related to their homicides. So he's serving 2 life sentences because of this. And Alex's defense attorneys decided, because Becky Hill came out with a book about 6 months later, and that was the meat that they needed to try to get a new trial, find a way for an appeal. And that did give them the platform to do it. And then, of course, because of them pointing the finger at Becky Hill, now she's under heavy scrutiny with a magnifying glass. Then the ethics, they're starting to look at this. People are complaining about that. Next thing you know, she's getting worried. She's got her son listening in on conversations. Now he's been charged with 1 count of wiretapping. It's just gotten really crazy. But did she do the things that they said she did? Let's listen to a few things, and then we're going to start rolling out with what Judge Toller said. She don't play. Judge Toll does not play, y'all. She does not play. And I can tell you that yesterday was not a good day for Team Alec Murdaugh. I can't tell you a lot, but I can tell you that.
On September the 5th, 2023, defendant filed with the Court of Appeals a motion to suspend his appeal and for leave to file a motion for a new trial with accompanying affidavits and transcript experts. On October the 17th, 2023, defendant Murdaugh received the final trial transcript and very shortly thereafter filed a motion for new trial in the Carlton County Clerk of Court's office. The first topic is an evidentiary hearing necessary at all? The state took the position, the answer to that was no. Obviously, the defendant not.
Good morning, guidance.
I have set an evidentiary hearing because I felt like we had to have some brackets on the time we will spend on this matter.
We've argued that their showing in their motion for a new trial is insufficient based on the case law for an evidentiary hearing because there is on its face no sufficient allegation of prejudice. That being said, of course, we fully understand and expect the evidentiary hearing to go forward, and we'll be happy to address burden of proof after the defense makes their arguments.
But when the defendant...
All right. Well, I got to tell you. First of all, I wish Creighton Waters wouldn't talk so fast because I was like, whoa. He sounded like a Bullhorn Betty in a time crunch, right? Bullhorn Betty in a time crunch. They did just change mine. Oh, those little bastards. Watch my language, right? So we're going to go back here. Let me go ahead and just let it play through because it's going to give us a problem. And
clearly we're going to have now a commercial we're going to have to watch when I had it all set up. Which kind of sucks just a little bit, but it is what it is. I'll try to mute it. There we go. I can mute it. Who loves Kevin Hart? I got to tell you, that is one funny man. That is one funny man. I love me some Kevin Hart. It's just like Medea, like Perry. God, why can't I think of it? Why can't I think of the man's name?
Unlimited. How do you cash back? Chase, make more of what's yours.
All right, let me get back to where we were.
And for leave to file evidentiary hearing, because I felt like we had to have some brackets on the time we will spend on this matter.
We've argued that their showing in their motion for a new trial is insufficient based on the case law for an evidentiary hearing because there is on its face no
Tyler Perry, thank you.
That being said, of course, we fully understand and expect the evidentiary hearing to go forward, and we'll be happy to address burden of proof after the defense makes their arguments.
But when the defendant produces evidence of a substantive communication to the jury by any third party, that's what Ringler is, by any third party, that then there's a presumption of bias, and that the state then has to overcome that presumption, produce strong, clear, and convincing evidence that it was harmless. We find prejudice based on the conduct, not on the juror's testimony, and they didn't use the word presumption, but they found prejudice. And I don't want to get caught up in this issue of do we have to establish prejudice?
Yes.
I think prejudice is established, but the question has to be established, but the question is it presumed under the circumstances? And if it's presumed under the circumstances, what does the state have to rebut it?
I will be doing the questioning of the jurors, and I will notify the parties pretty promptly what I intend to ask the jurors.
I wish I could pause it, but I'm too scared to pause it because we don't want to go through the whole commercial again. So we're just going to let this roll, and then
The ambit of what I will be asking them is informed by the question of whether improper contact was made with them and whether it affected their verdict. I can tell you that I am very, very reluctant to turn this hearing about juror contact into a wholesale exploration of every
not expiration,
piece of conduct,
exploration.
by the clerk alleged to have been
Because they just
improper
want
on
to
its
trash her.
own,
That's all they want to do.
indicative of her characteristics or personality or anything of that nature. This is a very focused inquiry that deals with this jury and what impact contact, if any, had on this jury.
Jurors, yeah. All right, so we got about 20 more seconds. That's it. I really don't care if it starts over at this point. So what she actually ruled on in this hearing was amazing, because let's face it, the actual hearing is for a motion for new trial. That means that only the decision makers, okay, the jurors, are the ones that convicted Alec Murdaugh. So she's only focused on those people, because Egg Lady was not part of the jury. She did not deliberate, and she did not bring back a verdict. Now, part of their argument on the defense is that Egg Lady was favorable to Alec Murdaugh, and that's the reason she was thwarted from the jury body. They alleged, remember those videos? They alleged that these jurors, that multiple jurors. Now, when I hear jurors, I'm thinking of deliberating jurors. Oh, thank you, Lulu's Nana. God bless you. God bless you for the super sticker. Let me run over. I want to see which one it is. Hold on. There it is. Number one fan. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. God bless. But Egg Lady was not part of the deliberating body. And they're saying that Alec Murdaugh was prejudiced, that Becky Hill went and talked to the jury body. The jury body is the deliberating body, including, excuse me with the hiccups, including the alternates. We had alternate jurors on this jury as well. And those were to replace any kind of jurors that may had been sick or couldn't stay for the duration of the jury. They needed to have additional alternates, but those alternates did not deliberate. They weren't the ones that came back with the verdict. It was only the 12 jury members that came back with the verdict. And were those jury members swayed by anything Becky Hill did? That is the question, and that is the only question. Whether somebody was thrown off a jury or not has nothing to do with the deliberating body in the Alec Murdaugh murder trial. So this judge is saying, we're not going to go on a fishing expedition. We're not going to put Becky Hill's character on trial. You're asking for a motion for new trial, and therefore we're going to talk to the people that put him behind bars, and only those people. But she also said, in addition to that, she would be willing to entertain other people depending on how this goes. But she couldn't, but as of right now, she only wants to hear from the jury members that deliberated and Becky Hill. That means at this moment, which no pun intended, they put all their eggs in one basket for Egg Lady. And now Egg Lady is not going to debut at this motion for new trial, right? And they're not. So let me get an applause. There we go. Oh, Lord. You know, Mike, you know how I feel about Becky. And I came to her defense. When this all came out and I heard the affidavits, you know, we went through them and I'm like, well, one of the very first things, hey, Lee, it's nice to see you. Put an end to the hate. It's nice to see you in here, Love Bug. It's nice to see you in here, Love Bug. I guess from out the gate, one of the things that I made a point to bring up, and one of the things that I noticed very early on, is that when Alec's defense attorney spoke and they got the affidavits, all the affidavits that they got weren't deliberating jury body, but in their press conference, they allege that they had multiple affidavits from multiple jury members. And now that we're kind of looking at the nuts and bolts and looking at whether their case holds water, we're finding out that that's really not true, that they only have the affidavits of people that weren't deliberating on the Alec Murdaugh case. I believe one of the, I can't remember the entire details, but we know about Egg Lady. I think we are all ingrained to the Egg Lady situation. I don't know if I really want to go down in history as being known as the Egg Lady. I am so sorry, but I'm not sure. Like, this is a historical event, and it's going to say in our history books, so-and-so's name, dubbed or AKA the Egg Lady. It's going to be in the freaking history books, and I just can't. Like, she should sue South Carolina for defamation, because this is going to carry with her literally the rest of her life, and I feel so bad. I mean, I'm laughing at it because it's funny, but if we were in her position, I don't know how funny, how comical we would think it was, okay? I'm just being honest with you. I would be highly upset if I was forever known in our history books as an Egg Lady, to be put out for the next 200 years of our history. And that's exactly what's going to happen.
We don't believe it now, but give it another 100 years. Trust me, our great grandchildren are going to be reading about this case, and they're going to be reading about Egg Lady. Watch. I'm right about something. Watch. So the way the affidavit and everything works, did I leave the paperwork? I left the paperwork on my bed. I've got like a stack of paperwork. I've got every single one of their documents. Actually, let me go grab it. Because you guys are not going to believe it until you actually physically see it. This is what they are going to the hearing on. You see that? That's a lot of paper. If you guys want to donate to the Bullhorn Betty Paper Fund, please consider doing so, because I can promise you we kill trees around here. I'm old school, you know. The reading screens all day hurt my eyes. So I like printed material. So when we print material, it's usually pretty voluminous, I guess is probably the proper pronunciation. Got to get it right. And so when we read all of this stuff, you know, the motion to suspend, appeal, and leave for motion for new trial, and they put the affidavits in here, one of the first things that we notice is that they're inclusive of all jurors. So they're stating in these affidavits that these things were stated in front of multiple jury members of the jury body. However, nobody else is bringing these up. So I don't know. I'm curious as to what you think. I just want to read this one article real quick to you guys. And then, is this it? I don't have it to pull up because I can't remember where I got it from, but it was something that was it was an article that I liked, so I printed it out because it's something we're going to go over while I'm there at the courthouse. And it says the legal stage is being set for a hearing to determine if what many have dubbed the trial of the century may result in a retrial for convicted murderer and fallen South Carolina lawyer Richard Alec Murdaugh. This week, there is movement, a foot and a leg. Well, this is cut off. I don't know if that meant to do. A foot and a leg, something Murdaugh, who was convicted in June, sentenced to 2 life sentences on March something trial based on Alec, because it's cut off. I just wanted to show you guys. It's like, it's, let me pull it back. Can I pull it back? It's cut off. It cuts, there it is. It's cut off. I don't know why it cut it off. I guess there must have been a picture or something there. But it says on allegations of jury tampering, a status conference and hearing have been scheduled by court order, removing any contact with Colton County Clerk Becky Hill, and a motion for exchange blank. I can't read that. And it says attorney and prosecutor with South Carolina General Office, which prosecute all of the Murdaugh state grand jury cases. Here is the latest hearing and status conference, an evidentiary hearing on allegations against Colton County Clerk of Court Becky Hill, accused of multiple instances of trying to influence the jury and ethical violations before the most recent admission. And it's still cut off as well. I don't know why. I'm going to have to reprint this. Before the hearing, there will be a public status conference at 9:30 on January 16th, which we ran live here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. And we also have another hearing set up for the 29th, which the Bullhorn Betty channel will be there live. The Supreme Court takes cases entirely out of Colton County. Judge Clifton Newman is an upstate circuit judge presiding over Murdaugh's 6-week double murder trial in Walterboro and handed down the life sentences. Newman has since recused himself from the case, and in a December 18th court order, the U.S. Supreme Court Chief Justice Donald Beatty ordered Judge Jean Toll, retired Chief Justice, be assigned to exclusive jurisdiction over Murdaugh's trial for a motion for new trial.
On January 3rd, Chief Justice Beatty issued an order that all documents, orders, and correspondence related to Murdaugh's motion for new trial must be filed with the clerk of the Supreme Court of South Carolina and not Colton County, where the murder case was venued. Because defendant's motion for new trial contained allegations related to the conduct of Colton County Clerk of Court, I find it to be inappropriate for the documents to be filed in Colton County, wrote the Chief Justice. The ruling also stipulates that Judge Toll file any orders with the clerk of the Supreme Court in not Colton County. Alec Murdaugh's attorneys file pre-hearing brief on January 3rd, which is part of this big packet of stuff I've got. Murdaugh's defense team, led by Richard Harpoolian and Jim Griffin, filed a 21-page pre-hearing brief that reinforces its position that Hill attempted to taint the jury opinion of Murdaugh and violated his right to a fair trial to seek fame and fortune behind her fortune in her book, Behind the Doors of Justice. Now, I'm going to stop right there and just explain this a little bit, because it kind of was touched on yesterday at that hearing. Just because there's mistakes or even bad actors, okay, in a trial, and say for all intents and purposes, not that I'm saying that she did anything wrong, but let's just play that she did do something wrong, okay? Let's play that Becky Hill spoke to Egg Lady and was truly, in fact, trying to find out whether or not she was going to vote guilty or innocent for Alec Murdaugh. Okay, let's say she did. What relevance does that have? Because, again, Egg Lady did not deliberate. Now, had Egg Lady, this is going to be their position. If Egg Lady was still on the jury body, she would have been the one that held out. But just like another jury member had stated, they were pressured by other jurors, which is part of the process. You know, you go through it. Somebody says, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. They're like, okay, well, we'll stay here another 12 hours if we need to. And that juror member says, you know what, I'm not sure. And based on this information, I'm just going to change my vote and vote that he's guilty. Again, all the people in that jury box and that deliberated and found that Alec Murdaugh was guilty. So I don't know if she's going to even entertain Egg Lady or her removal off because it has no bearing on the actual conviction of Alec Murdaugh itself, even if it was improper, because it comes down to whether those jurors that deliberated were swayed by the actions of Becky Hill. And we will probably learn that they were not. Therefore, even if Becky Hill did these horrible things, if they were not going to be swayed from their guilty verdict, then he's going to be guilty no matter how you look at it, and the judge is not going to allow him to have a new trial. They have to prove the allegations. And right now, the only affidavits they have are from people that weren't deliberating jury members. And so they're removed from the process. Judge Toll says she doesn't want to hear from them. Will that change? We don't know. In a brief, Murdaugh's attorney argued several points, and I'm not going to go through this because it cuts it off again, but I will read these next 3 paragraphs and then we'll be done. To prove his case, Murdaugh only needs to prove the preponderance of evidence that Hill made statements or at least one deliberating jury about the merits of the evidence. And again, that's not true. She would have had to sway that jury member. It would have, her conduct would have had to have an effect on any of the jury members, and if it had an effect where they would have said not guilty, if not for her, then he would be entitled to a new trial. But if nothing she did, even if it's inappropriate, if nothing she did swayed that jury body, he's dead in the water. And that's why we went from a jovial, happy Alec Murdaugh yesterday to, as we were proceeding through this status hearing, you saw his entire demeanor change almost instantly. It's because the judge was not ruling in his favor. And Dick, he tried like heck to get that in. And he kept needlessly hammering at the judge, to the point that I saw the judge getting a little frustrated.
even so much as saying, let's not say that anymore. I got your point, So she was getting a little frustrated, but you know what? Judges do that. When you have a defendant, you'd have to defend them, and sometimes you're that creek without a paddle. So Murdaugh's request that the state produce its discovery evidence for Murdaugh to prepare for the hearing. They were arguing over some of the stuff as well. And what I liked about the judge is the judge says, I'm doing the questioning. So Judge Toll is doing the questioning. She's a beast. I got to be honest with you. She's a beast. She is very knowledgeable in this field. And what a pioneer in South Carolina that this lady right here is. She has an amazing story. There was nobody. Women didn't work during her era. They didn't work. They stayed home. They had kids. That was the thing. Whether you say it's sexist or whatever, that's just the way life was then. We can't sit there and judge people for how they lived way back then, but that's the way it was. Women didn't work. So she went to college. She was in the legal field when it was all men. And quite frankly, she excelled and got the respect of her male counterparts, which is very difficult to do. It was very difficult to do. There was less than 1% of attorneys that were women when she started practicing law. And because of her and others like her, that number is almost 20% to this day. She is an amazing lady. She went straight to the top. She was in private practice, and she was the first female ever accepted in the Supreme Court as the Chief Justice. She excelled. She's an amazing, impeccable lady that I have no doubt is absolutely capable of handling this case. And she's absolutely capable of handling the likes of Jim Griffin and Dick Harpootlian. I truly, absolutely believe it. She's amazing. So what does she say? She says, I don't play. I ain't playing with you fools. That's what she said. She said, this is how it's going to be. This is what we're going to do. And this is how we're going to get there. So I'm going to open this up. Let me see if we got anything else. I've got a few more articles here, but I don't know if they actually have any new information that would be beneficial to us. Let me just see here. I'm very, very reluctant. This is what she says. She says, I'm very, very reluctant to turn this hearing about jurors' contact into a wholesale exploration about every piece of conduct by the clerk alleged to have been improper on its own. So she's basically saying, look, I'm not looking at all these extra stuff. I want to know the actual meat and potatoes. I want to know if what she did swayed the jury, the deliberating jury, the ones that put your client in jail. Did she have her finger on the hands of justice, the scales of justice for them? And that's the only area this judge is going to be exploring. They want to bring in Egg Lady. They want to talk about ethical issues with Becky. They want to smear her. They want to smear her in an effort to get a new trial for their client that was properly convicted. Properly convicted. And I truly believe that. I believe he was properly convicted. For those that are just tuning in, I'm going to play the video for you. For those that don't want to watch the video again, you do not have to. But for those that would like to watch the video again, actually, let me see if I can pull it up on my. I think it'll be clearer if I pull it up on my YouTube account. Give me just a second because I did upload it. Okay. I did upload it, but it's unlisted. Will it let me have it? It will not let me have it without going into my. I'm almost there. I should have probably just went ahead and pulled this up. But I like it being a part of the actual show in StreamYard. But I'm also finding out that, sometimes these things don't come in as clear them to be. So let's pause that and get over to my other account. Switch. Can I switch this? Will it let me watch it? It will. Yeah. No, it won't. Okay. It will not let me watch it on my main account, so we're going to have to watch it with a commercial. I put my own commercials on my show. We're going to have to watch it. Okay, guys? You're just going to have to suck it up, okay? You're just going to have to suck it up. I tried, but you guys are going to have to watch a commercial. We need to support the Bullhorn Betty channel anyways. Don't forget, we are on the Dollar Will Do campaign as we fund our upcoming year. We've got Alec Murdaugh that we are going to.
Again,
I don't know how I feel about watching commercials on my own
Listen,
channel.
Suze, HelloFresh makes eating better exciting. Smells good, because it is good.
And they made me
in the
watch a
fridge.
full video,
Hello,
no
Wanda.
skip.
The legacy of the Murdaughs stretch very far in South Carolina. Behind these gates lie deadly secrets. Secrets only Alec Murdaugh himself know. On June 7th, 2021, Alec Murdaugh hatched a deadly secret, plotting against his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul. But what brought us to this point starts with Mallory Beach. Mallory Beach was killed in a boating accident by Paul Murdaugh, Alec Murdaugh's son, and it was going to trial, and Alec was about to pony up financial records. Those financial records were going to uncover a financial scheme hatched by none other than Alec Murdaugh himself. Right before going to court over the boating accident, Alec Murdaugh's wife, Maggie, and son, Paul, were brutally executed at the dog kennels at their home in Low Country, South Carolina, the property known as Moselle. Shortly after the murder of his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul, he had a foiled suicide plot at a local church nearby. Alec had a friend try to shoot him in the head region, which again failed, and he went to the hospital where it was a superficial wound, leaving everybody to believe this was a foiled suicide attempt to garner sympathy from the community. This foiled attempt was captured on camera at the local church. Alec Murdaugh received 2 life sentences for the death and murder of his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul. After Alec's double homicide conviction of his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul, he has since set his eyes on the clerk of Colton County, Becky Hill. Becky Hill is now come under fire for putting her hands on the scales of justice in an effort to get Alec Murdaugh convicted. Alec Murdaugh's defense team state that Becky Hill put her hands on the scales of justice in an effort to get money for a book deal. Alec Murdaugh has a hearing for a motion for new trial coming up on January 29th. This hearing details how Alec Murdaugh believes Becky Hill, the clerk of Colton County, put her hands on the scales of justice in an effort to get a guilty verdict from the jury. The judge in the matter stated that she will be willing to hear from the jurors and Becky Hill only at the most recent status conference hearing. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories channel as we prepare to go to this hearing to find out whether Alec Murdaugh does indeed get a new trial.
And so there we have it, folks. There we have it. Does he get a new trial? This is my opinion. I want to hear from you. I'm going to turn on the phones for those that would like to call in. But do you believe that he's going to get a new trial? Based upon the ruling and in me seeing how astute this judge is, I have to be honest with you. I think he's toast. I don't think she's going to bend unless something comes out from those 12 jury members that say that based on what Becky Hill told them, it did change their vote. Anything short of that, he's done. He's toast.
He's going to have to eat it. They're going to have to move on to a different type of appeal process. This is not going to work. Or they're going to have to come up with different claims to try to get the verdict tossed out. But if for any reason we do find out that she spoke to those jury members, and we do find out that it did change one of the jurors' minds, and it did affect that juror and that juror's deliberation, then yes, we're going to be seeing a new trial for Alec Murdaugh. But I have a suspicion that if the jury body, the deliberating body, were going to mimic what the defense attorneys state, then I think that the state of South Carolina would have no choice but to go ahead and stipulate for a new trial versus going through this whole situation. But it sounds like everybody has the SLED investigation. Everybody's been able to review what's in it. And that is why the defense was pushing so hard to have outside people come in, because that was where all of their cards were held. It wasn't in the deliberating body. It was with people that weren't on the deliberating body. And they're trying to say, but if our people were on the deliberating body, we would have not been found guilty. I don't know if that's true either. Because I truly believe Egg Lady was butthurt that she got thwarted. She got kicked off the jury. And she got kicked off the jury over a misunderstanding. I understand she's upset. No harm, no foul. I get it. But the problem is she was so butthurt, in my opinion, that she chose to lash out. And I believe that's how she's doing it. She's blaming them for everything. So let me know your thoughts. It is, I got to take this down because I got to turn it over to the, oops, wrong side. I got to turn it over to the call. But there's the number, 724-249-6140. If you have anything to add about this Murdaugh, what do you like Judge Toll? What do you think about the representation that Alec is getting from his attorneys? There's a lot of questions here. I'm kind of excited, but I'm not, I got to tell you, I think one of the most emotional, heartbreaking points in this whole case is really not the fact that, Alec is going to be potentially have a new trial, that he's going to this motion for new trial hearing to see if he will be able to get a new trial. And all of this stuff. Meanwhile, his wife and son were brutally executed. And let's just say it like this, whether or not Alec Murdaugh did it, I truly believe they have the right guy in jail, because I don't see who else would have done it. Nobody lives out there. Nothing like this has happened. Why all of a sudden this would happen? And so many years after Mallory Beach was killed, it doesn't make sense. It stinks to high heaven. Anyways, I digress. But where was I going with this? I think I got lost. I'm tired. But either way, I remember what it was. The hardest part of this is the fact that they were gunned down, whether Alec did it or not. They were brutally murdered on their property. And so far, the Murdaugh family has failed to put a headstone up for Paul or Maggie. I was out there personally. I saw it with my own eyes. There is no headstone for them. But the grandfather that died 3 days after them, of course, has a nice, beautiful, polished headstone. So I don't know what's going on, but I hope the Murdaughs at least show respect to their nephew and to their sister-in-law, daughter-in-law, family-in-law, and put a stinking headstone up for those, because they're the ones. Everybody else appears to have died naturally. I don't know how many other people in your family are gunned down, but, typically you would think that murdered people that went way, way, way too soon, and not by natural causes or anything because somebody took them out, you would think that the family would rally around them more than not and show them extra special attention. But here we are 3 years later, and there's still no freaking headstones for Maggie or Paul. And they wonder why nobody has respect for the Murdaugh name now. Because you're trash. Doesn't matter how much money you have. As far as I'm concerned, you're all trash. because there's some good Murdaugh there that still has failed to put a polished rock above their nephew's head. We've seen so many of them up there on that trial stand crying for him. How heartless it was for somebody to take their family member away. Well, I think it's pretty freaking heartless not to put a headstone to honor them after they gave so much, if you really want my opinion about it. And that is my true opinion. I have literally no respect for the Murdaugh name at all. I had a Murdaugh come out because I was taking a picture of the sign, trying to be rude to me. I hope you're watching, because I was the blonde in that SUV you wanted to come up and start talking shit to, buddy. And like I told you, I'm with the press. You're not going to push me around, and I'll do as I damn well please. Right? I will do as I damn well please. If I'm on public property, you can have the Murdaugh name all day long. Come up and talk to me like that again, and I'll give you the same freaking response you got. Total animal. I don't like the Murdaughs. Okay? If they had a respectable bone in their body, it's gone now. It's gone now. Have no respect for them. What else do I have here? Did I already play that? I think I already played. Oh, maybe I didn't play that. Did I play that? Yeah, I had to have played that. Did we play that? Oh, yeah, that is the one. All right, guys. That's it for you guys, folks. If you guys are calling in, I don't really have much more left on this situation. I am more confident going in on the 29th, believing that Alec Murdaugh most likely will not get a new trial. After seeing her yesterday, hearing what she was going to be honing in on, I'm confident now Alec is screwed. Okay? So we'll watch it. I promise you, we will watch it. But I'm telling you, I'm going to call it now. He ain't getting a new trial. Judge, because none of the deliberating jurors have come forward to say that there was any wrongdoing. And I doubt they're going to go on the stand and say and contradict what they haven't said so far. So I think they're screwed. And not only that, but remember how upset that they all were yesterday at that hearing? You could literally see the color come out of Dick's face, Jim's face, and definitely Alec's face. Well, Alec's face got a lot more red. He didn't lose color. He turned into my sweater, right? It's all a ruse. I believe it. I believe it. All right, guys. I'm going to go out with the intro video. I don't even know. I'm so delusional at this point. I'm exhausted. I'm going to do my work. I'm going to take a nap and get back to work. So you guys have an amazing day. God bless each and every one of you. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. We will be back tomorrow morning, 7:30 on time for TGIF. Don't know what it's going to be about, but it is going to be good. So please come back tomorrow morning. If you haven't already, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to my main channel, and subscribe to my third backup channel as well, because you never know which way we're going to go, right? The main channel's fine. I just want to make sure everybody knows that. As you guys can tell, we've already converted over to this channel, so we might as well stay over here and build this channel up. My third channel is going to convert to a different topic of stuff. And if you guys are interested in it, sign up. But I can tell you right now, the third channel is going to be a political channel, strictly political channel. It's not going to be talking about true crime at all. So if you're into politics, it's not going to be one-sided politics either. It's going to be, we're going to do something a little different, because I think it's time for some unity. And, it's time to start talking about policies, not parties, and getting work done. Because to be honest with you, I'm ashamed of all of them. I won't lie, right? I'm ashamed of all of them. It's time to do something. So we're going to be getting away from true crime for a little bit. And we're going to continue our true crime channel, of course. But the third channel, Bullhorn Betty, BETTIE, is going to end up being a 100% political channel. So if it's not your cup of tea, you can unsubscribe from it. Right now, you can keep subscribing to it because we're running true crime on it. But just know where the direction of that channel is going to go if you choose to support it. All right, guys, God bless each and every one of you. Until next time, please be kind and safe to one another. Please be safe and kind to one another. Good Lord. Good Lord.
All right, I'm out of here. Have a great day. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Yay!
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.